Alright, I got a new stove. This is an Optimus 8R copy. It's a clone that was made in the Soviet Union. There's the instruction book right there. It was made in 1988, and that's printed right in the book itself. I got this from eBay from a seller in Poland. So, anyway. The thing about this stove here is it's an exact duplicate, except for the fact that the tank here isn't made out of brass, it's made out of steel, and then it's coated in nickel. These are kind of cool. They're different than the Coleman stoves. You don't have to pump them. You put a little bit of fuel underneath. That heats up the regulator and causes pressure to build up, etc. The only thing with that is it's a little tricky pouring the fuel on that without causing a big mess. And that's why you have such a hefty heat shield right here. So I'm just going to take a little bit and dump that right on top of the burner. Light that up and let that burn just a bit, get some heat going on the regulator. And as soon as that comes off, burns off, then the stove should kick in on its own. I seem to have a pretty good flame going here for boiling water, so I'm going to take 2 cups of water and we're going to do a boil test. So this test is running at the freezing point, and I am using just Coleman stove fuel for this. And right now we're just hitting 6 minutes. We did have one delay that I edited out, and that was user error. I wasn't using the controls quite right, shut the gas off, but I paused the timer and continued on after about 10 seconds. Alright, so we're coming up on 9 minutes now, and it's just starting to well, I'll let you see. I think a little bit of this is user error. I don't think I quite had the right settings on the burner. So it seems to me what I should have done is I should have covered this for the test, but I'll think of that next time. I'll make myself some coffee. Alright, so we have some... So there we have the stove. We have the burner going. Now the interesting thing is, you go to the left, you shut it off. You go too far to the right, you shut it off. And in the middle is your highest setting. As you can see there, we got a good clean burn going, and we're getting lots of heat here. I'm just going to put a little bit of snow in this. Let's see what we get for a melt. Alright, so the stove seems to work really well. It just took a little bit of time to figure out the controls. The controls aren't quite as refined as the real model. Anyway, so there's the Russian copy of an Optimus stove. It works really well. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's a rugged little thing. So this is going to be a great little rig to take backpacking, ATVing, canoeing, and generally probably going to throw it in the truck with a bottle of Coleman fuel in case we get stuck out in a snowstorm. If you have a stove like this or the real thing, why don't you share your stories, where you got it, how old it is, and I'd love to hear your comments. And even better, I'd love to see a video.